Hi, I'm Michael with Software Academy. In this video, we're going to make our first actual game in Python. Let's go with something super simple to start with, so we can learn some techniques we can use later on. The game I want us to make is a number guessing game. I think of a number between 1 and 20, and you have to guess it. If you guess a number that is too low, I say, too low, try again. And if you guess a number that's too high, I say, too high, try again. If you guess my number correctly, I congratulate you and ask if you want to play again with a different number to guess. We could also add in some extra features, like counting how many guesses it takes to win, or giving a limited number of attempts before you lose. First, we need to open Idle. Click on Start, and type in IDLE, and then click on your version of Idle. Since we're actually going to save our code and run it more than once, we need to create and save a new file. Go to File, New File, and then File, Save, and let's save it in a folder on our desktop. I'm going to save it as Guessing Game. The first step of our game is to get the computer to think of a random number. However, to make our game easier to test, let's start building it so the number is always the same value, and later make it randomly generated. Let's make a new variable called secret_number. Now remember, you can hold down the Shift key and press minus to get an underscore. Let's say it's equal to 10 for now. The next thing we need to do is ask our player to guess our number. But we need to save the player's guess so we can compare it to the secret number later. So I'm going to save that into a variable called player_guess equals input. And in between these brackets, we can put speech marks with a message to our player asking them to guess our number. In brackets, I'm going to give a little hint to say what the minimum and maximum values are. So 1 to 20. At the end of this line, before closing off the speech marks, I'm going to add in a \n. Backslash should be found at the bottom left-hand corner of your keyboard, right next to the Shift key. What this is going to do is it's going to print out a new line before it lets us type in anything. If I run my code now, by pressing F5, we can actually type in and it appears on the next line after guess my number. However, there's a problem with this code because the input function in Python will always give us a string value, which is basically a way of saying text. And we can check this by running our code by pressing F5, okay, typing in a value, and if we type right here in our shell, type, and then brackets, and inside of those brackets we say player_guess, the name of our variable, it will tell us not the value of that variable, which is 5, but what type of variable it is, which is a string, meaning text. So first, we need to convert the player's input into an integer or a whole number, which we can do maths with. To do this, it's fairly simple. We just wrap our input function in brackets like this, and make sure we have a matching close bracket after it. And then before these brackets, we write int, int, which is short for integer, which is what we want. Now if I try this again, another little tip, if you've previously entered in a line of code to your shell and you can still see it up here, and you want to type it out again, rather than manually typing it out, we can just click on it and press enter, and it automatically types it out for us exactly as it appears before. Now if I press enter, it tells us it's an integer, which is what we want. Let's go back to our code. Now we need to compare our player's guess to our secret number. We can do this with an if statement like this. If player underscore guess. Now I want to check if it's too low first, so I'll say if player guess is less, if player guess is less than. To get that symbol, you hold down the Shift button and press the comma key. If player guess is less than secret underscore number, so if they've guessed too low, and we need a colon there at the end of every if. And on the next line, make sure we have this tab here, this 4 spaces. Do not delete that, because the spacing before the line is what tells Python that this is happening inside of that if statement. So if the player guess is less than our secret number, then we print too low, try again. Now let's repeat this, but for if we guess too high. Rather than typing this all out, I'm just going to select this and hold down Ctrl and C to copy. You can also right-click copy. Let's just go down a couple lines, backspace away this tab, and paste it. So now if the player guess is less than our secret number, we print too low, try again. But if the player guess is more than, that's Shift and full stop key, then we print too high. Okay, now there's only one more thing that our guess could be, so let's just paste this again. So if it's not less than and it's not more than, it could be equal to our secret number. Now you may think we just write equals like that, if player guess is equal to our secret number. But that will give us an error, because in Python there's actually 2 different kinds of equals. If we just write a single equals sign like this, it means we are making player guess the same as secret number. Just like up here when we said secret number equals 10, that makes secret number 10. However, here we want to check if our guess is equal to our secret number. So instead we use a double equals like this, without a space between them. And if we've guessed correctly, we want to tell them, congratulations, you win. So let's write that out. Congratulations, you win. Okay, let's press F5 to test our code. Alright. Now, if I type in a number that's too low, say 1. Too low, try again. Let's try this again. So we have to actually restart our game manually at the moment. So click back to your code, press F5. Oops. And now type in a number that's too big, so I'll say 11. Too high, try again. Okay, so that works. And now I'm going to go back to our code, press F5, and I know the number is 10 because I've set it up for testing. So I will type in 10. Congratulations, you win. Okay, so far everything is working. So far in this video, we set up a secret number that's hidden from the player, and we set that to 10. Then, we had a player guess variable, which we asked the player to guess that number. But we had to convert that number to an integer before we can actually use it. After doing this, we could then compare these 2 numbers, and the 3 different possibilities, either too low, too high, or correct, will result in a different message being printed to the screen. However, while testing your game, you may have found that if you enter in a wrong guess, it tells you to try again, but then when you try again, our game is no longer running and it just prints out that number back at you again. In the next video, we're going to add the ability to take multiple turns and guess over and over and over again until you guess the correct answer.